Welcome, everyone, to Lawrenceville's first ever historical, unusual, yes, you guessed it, virtual, conferring of diplomas. Dearly beloved class of 2020, please join me in a spirit of thanksgiving. Source of our being, fountain of life, all gracious God, we give you thanks for all the members of the class of 2020. Chiseled by realities outside our gates, they have risen to each occasion with integrity and imagination, humor, goodwill, and acumen, and we look to them with hope. Keep them, O God, as the apple of your eye. Shelter them under the shadow of your wing. Strengthen them mightily and encourage them tenderly. And may your spirit of joy move through our company in this conferring of diplomas, virtual though it may be. Amen. And now may I present Headmaster Murray.
Mr. Che, Reverend Morrow, Rabbi Levy, students, faculty, staff, trustees, alumni, and especially families of the class of 2020. It is a pleasure to gather with all of you virtually on this momentous occasion to celebrate both the achievements of this remarkable group of graduates and also to recognize the guidance and nurture they have received from the teachers, coaches, and housemasters of this wonderful institution, one of the finest faculties in the country, if not the world. It is a singular privilege for me to serve with such colleagues, and I owe them my deepest gratitude for all that they have done this spring. In addition to thanking the faculty who have done so much to mentor, guide, and shape you into the adults you have become, I want to join the class of 2020 in recognizing one more group of people who I know have been important to you and to whom we also owe a debt of gratitude. To the families of the class of 2020, thank you. You have made sacrifices to send your children to Lawrenceville, and you have entrusted to our care your greatest treasure. Your children make Lawrenceville what it is, and for these fleeting few years, when you allowed us to have them in our care, they animated our lives with their inquisitive minds, their kind hearts, and their loyal spirits. For that, we are truly grateful. Yesterday, in my baccalaureate remarks, and again, thanks to Ms. O'Malley, I referenced E.B. White's small but fundamentally reassuring gesture of hope and love in his weekly ritual of winding his clock. We are living through a time where these small gestures of faith that tomorrow will be a better day become all the more important, where our collective belief that this situation will improve, where our ability to embrace this life we've been given makes all the difference as we try to prevail against tremendous anxiety and uncertainty. We need to know, in the end, that for all its turns and disappointments, for all the trials and deceptions, the world is full of wonders. There is goodwill and human kindness out there if you take the time to recognize it. As poet Peter Fallon said, be worthy of this life and love the world. With these words, I welcome you to this ceremony. Before proceeding with the graduation prizes, it is our practice to acknowledge students who have gained admission to one of the United States Military Service Academies or who have made some similar commitment to serve their country. Brandon Agron and Jasmine Barco will both be attending the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, and Tim Johnson will be attending the United States Military Academy Preparatory School prior to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Nicholas Clark and Ashley Warren will both be attending the U.S. Naval Academy. Brandon, Jasmine, Tim, Nicholas, and Ashley, we are so proud of you and applaud you for your service. Your selfless act of dedication says so much about you and brings great honor to Lawrenceville. It is now my pleasure to present prizes to two exceptional members of the class of 2020. the Brainerd Prize. The Edward Sutliff Brainerd Prize is given annually by the faculty to the fifth form student whom they hold in the highest esteem. Supremely competent, multi-talented, inquisitive, well-spoken, wise beyond her years, and possessing a good-hearted sense of humor, this year's recipient is universally respected on campus. As a House President and a member of both the Student Council and of the L10 News team, her devotion to the students and the school is unparalleled. One faculty admirer says, "She listens and leads. She actively engages the topics at hand and diplomatically encourages her companions with a remarkable blend of seriousness of purpose and intellectual levity that encourages engagement." The Lawrenceville School's mission culminates with a bold statement: to inspire the best in each, to seek the best for all. This student embodies this aspirational call. In all that she undertakes, she leads with honor and passion rooted in optimism for humanity. Everyone who knows her believes she will be the ultimate public servant and, dare we hope, national leader someday. She truly inspires us to seek the best for all. On behalf of the faculty, I am pleased and honored to award this year's Edward Sutliff Brainerd Prize to Michaela Boxley from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The Trustees Cup. The Trustees Cup is awarded annually by the headmaster on behalf of the Board of Trustees to that student who has most influenced the school for good. This year's recipient embodies the perfect blend of intensity, leadership, charisma, and competitiveness, earning two of Lawrenceville's most prestigious honors, the Siemens Merit Scholarship for Integrity and Excellence as a Scholar and a Community Leader, and membership in the Eglin Society, which honors moral courage and uncalculating service. Teachers regularly share her clear, precise, and well-reasoned work as models of excellence. She is known for generous, energetic contributions that elevate Harkness discussions to the next level. Another summed it up by saying, "This young woman is a powerhouse, a joyful impact as a scholar, a leader, a dancer, an athlete, and a mentor. She is a truly remarkable member of the Lawrenceville class of 2020. On behalf of the trustees of the Lawrenceville School, I am honored and proud to present this year's Trustees Cup to Samika Hariharan from Skillman, New Jersey. We now come to the most important part of this ceremony, the awarding of diplomas to the members of Lawrenceville's class of 2020. Michael Che, President of the Board of Trustees and member of the class of 1986, may I have the authorization on behalf of the Lawrenceville School Board of Trustees to present diplomas to members of this class?
Thank you, Headmaster Murray. On behalf of the Lawrenceville School Board of Trustees, it is my distinct honor to approve the conferring of diplomas to the great class of 2020. We've watched your impressive achievements over the past 4 years with great pride, and never more so than during the past 3 months. Your remarkable resilience and leadership during this time will always have a special place in our hearts and in the history of the school. Thank you for all that you have done for Lawrenceville. I look forward to seeing you next year on campus to celebrate.
Dean of Students Blake Eldridge will now read the names of the graduates.
Tayari Gashegwa, Heaven Isabel Asemius, Rachel Oluwanfunmalayo Adelekun, Anushka Agarwala, Brandon Alex Agrin, Inaya Noor Ahmed, Nikhil Janardhan Ajarapu, Parish Townsend Albahari, Shreya Anenamaneni, Caitlin Antonacci, Leah Langdon Antonatos, Varun Aravapalli, Amy Adeze Ariviguzo, Jerry B. Awua, Ashley Duraswamy, Christian S. Bay, Anika Bagaria, Teo Ishan Fenimore Bami, Jasmine M. Barco, Marta Baziuk, Jessica Brooke Bianco, Michaela Grace Boxley, Michael Joseph Brady, Sarah Taylor Brewer, Ilana Sophia Brillenborg Pineda, Norman Lynn Brown III, Vincent John Burke, Jeffrey Kai, Miranda Kai, Michael Kennedy, Gannon James Carroll, Neil Anderson Carroll, Cornel Chakraborty, Samuel Shangren Chang, James Jinqing Ding Chen, Elizabeth Chu, Nicholas Clark, John Francis Collins, Christopher Thornwell Conyers IV, Jack Stevens Colleen, Sydney Cornell, Samantha Bree Cowell, Audrey Jane Palmer Craighead, Eugene Frederick Craddock III, Caitlin Elizabeth Crosby, Eileen Zhu Kui, Simon David Cull, William Robert Dawson, Elizabeth Donna DiCarlo, Christopher Joseph Delaney, Crescenzo DeLuca, Halstead Isabel DeLuca, William Stephen Desky, Marvin Dominguez, Angela Victoria Dong, Natalie Alexandra Drill, Victoria Josephine Dugan, Jaden Nasir Duncan, William Garrett Dykeman, Caroline Lizette Espinal, Grace Whitley Faircloth, João Antonio Flores. Jax Flahinger Floyd. Marin Isabel Folt. Christian Forbes. Jordan Kelsey Ford. Jacob Ethan Friedland. Charlotte Frumkin. Reagan A. Funderburg. Beata Faulkner. Lachlan James Getz. Enrique Q. Giangrande. Catherine Gordon Gilman. Evan Christopher Goggin. Hamilton Jack Gruber. Theodore Duffy Gutman. Tamika Hariharan. Arik Hassan. Nicholas A. Healy. Christopher Andrew Heckel. Joshua Isaiah Hemmings. Brandon Daniel Henry. Brian Alejandro Hernandez. Kira Dalton Hoover. Jian Huang. Vincent Jianlin Huang. Elizabeth Garrity Huseman. Natalia Ibarra. Andrew James Iferenta. Akash G. Iyer. Timothy R. Johnson. Jordan Matthew Jones. Aiden Patrick Kane. Jin Gu Kang. Darren S. Kahn. Jack Kana. Damie Kim. Story Dylan Kimura. Samuel Eric Kinder. Carolyn Danielle King. Devin Kinney. Nicholas Coca. Olivia Mariana Koch. Peter Elias Koistra. Alexander Stephen Kowal. Alexander Kraut. Shreya Aditi Kumar. Jacob Ingmar Kunzer. Xavier Lacoste. Grace Henderson Letty. Johan Lee. Tae-hee Lee. Catherine L. Hartman Levy. Tiffany Ashley Lynn. Amy Rachel Logan. Mia Mahfood. Matthew Timothy Manahan. Margaret S. Mancuso. Madeline Renee Mario. Reed Christopher Mario. Jermaine Jamal Marshall. Emily Matcham. Kazuma Matsuo. Kelsey Mary McAllister. James Richard McKenna. Caroline Nicole McLaughlin. Jaden Ali McMillan. Maxima Marina Molgat. Bridget Frawley Molyneux. Isabel Dallas Monahan. Kate James Mott. Davis Muller. Lily Josephine Murphy. Jeree Celine Murray. Mikkel Julian Narty. Salvatore Natali. Alana Natalie Nathan. Allison Nemeth. Young Ning Wen. Lainey Gilmore Nicholson. Anna May Nolan. Kiva Tony O'Reilly. Stephanie M. Owusu. Isabel Wright Payne. Alexandra Yuk K. Pang. Thomas J. Park. Santiago Parra Vargas. Kate Marjorie Partridge. Alexander Gabriel Pessendorfer. Ramon Ike Phoenix. Una Nadine Pierre. Sara Maria Tastinska. Liana Raguso. Vishnu Rajakanan. Dotatis Ramoska. Savon Rollins. Ashley Rayner. Lauren Nietis Recto. Michael E. Rocco. Casey Ronald Rogerson. Hallie Kate Rose. Joseph Benjamin Rosen. Ella Goldwasser Rosenthal. Margaret Haskell Ross. Thomas William Rule. Audrey Taylor Safer. Divya Sameta. Louis Easterling Sardan. Hazel Belden Schaus. Ethan James Schlegel. Victoria McKay Schultz. Natalie Schur. Eduardo Jethro Schwartz. Alexandra Erdmans Schwartz. DJ Semtenfelter. Emily Shapcott. Siddharth Sharma. Alex Chate. Olivia Mary Sealer. Jacob Simpson. Arya Jyoti Singh. Robert Andrew Smith. Thatcher Hallett Smith. Tassan Smith Gandy. Alexandra Mary Elizabeth Stack. Nina Suresh. Jacob Owen Sussman. Isabel Sweeney. Rena Takaoka. Jeffrey Jin Tao. Bettina Giselle Tapiero. Ivana D. Tavares Cabrera. Ashley Shu Yi Tay. Jack Taylor. Jack Thomas Tenzer. Andrew John Tokarski. Tita Tuchinda. Logan Tucker. Oliver Robert Udi. Charles Graham Uffelman Jr. Lana Elaine Utley. Alexis Valadez. Ashley Josine Vandenboel. Claude Justin Vilfort. Ang Yak Hai Vo. Mary Ellen Longstreth Vogel. Tree Zalvu Ding. Sirafab Wanavechku. Elaine Jingyi Wang. Harrison Wang. Jason Charles Wang. Julia Wang. Ashley N. Warren. Benjamin C. Wilcox. Isabel Blish Wilkins. Miles Williams. Nicholas Winkler. Yuk Hung Maximus Wong. Michael Finn Andrew Woodley. Jack Reagan. Ingrid Zhu. Madeline Zelznick. David Zhang. Jasmine Zhang. Andrew Fang Zheng. Nicholas Zhu. Eric Wang Zhu. Jiaxi Zhu. Laura Gabrielle Zvinis.
The Lawrenceville valedictorian is chosen from among the highest standing members in the class by the fifth form housemasters and advisors. A number of students were considered for this distinction based on their overall academic records at Lawrenceville. It is now my pleasure to introduce this year's valedictorian, Ashley Duraswamy from Princeton, New Jersey. If you had to describe Ashley in 3 words, they would be scholar, writer, and classicist. As a scholar, she's been complimented on her love of learning, keen intellect, and the exemplary work that she does daily in all of her classes. She's also recognized for her thoughtful engagement with her fellow students as she relentlessly and joyfully pursues excellence and ever deeper understanding in all that she explores. A recipient of the 2017 Lower School English Prize, honored last year with the Yale Club Book Award, she excelled in the New Jersey Scholars Program and is currently being recognized as a National Merit semifinalist. A passionate and talented writer, she has been a finalist in both Poetry Out Loud and the Woodrow Wilson public speaking competitions, and she was selected as an editor of the Lawrenceville History Review. The Lit and Working Title have published her creative writing, and as president of our Creative Writing Club, she has worked with the Community Service Office to help offer creative writing workshops for middle school students. As a classicist, her final Latin class was completed this past fall at Princeton University, and on the side, she's been teaching herself ancient Greek. Her college counselor writes, "Unfettered by convention, not by expectation, she'll follow her heart and build the intellectual community that is and should be at the heart of any undergraduate community. She's a generous, humble, and dynamic scholar whose academic journey will be long and luminous. It is no surprise to us that she has been selected as valedictorian of the class of 2020.
Thank you, Headmaster Murray. I'd like to begin this speech by saying, hi, everyone. Now, if this were a 2-word speech, I'd almost be content to stop there. I never realized how much I'd miss saying hi to you all until I sat down, started writing the speech, and realized I had to say goodbye instead. Under ordinary circumstances, this is the moment when I would gaze out at all your faces and wonder how many of you would be asleep by the time I finished this speech. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that. You're all free to turn the next 7 to 8 minutes into a well-earned nap, and I'll be none the wiser. To those of you who choose to stick with me, though, let me take you back to March 13th, the last day to travel to the US from mainland Europe. I was traveling. Let's ignore my lack of foresight for now. We were taxiing to the terminal, wedged between passengers who kept dousing their tray tables with hand sanitizer and glancing around furtively every time somebody sneezed. That was when my dad read Headmaster Murray's email and told me we would not be coming back to Lawrenceville in the spring. I don't know where you were when you heard that or how you felt. I hardly knew how I felt. I just remember thinking, this couldn't happen. We often talk about Lawrenceville as a bubble, but I realized I'd always thought of Lawrenceville as a fortress. The world could bang on our ironclad front doors, and we could choose what we wanted to let in. We'd let in what we could deal with and keep out what we couldn't. Despite everything I knew about what was going on, I still thought our campus would be there, waiting for us, when we came back in the spring. As you know, things didn't quite work out that way. Spring term came and found me sitting in this room, staring at the Zoom link for my first virtual class. I had no idea what to expect. Considering the number of times I managed to accidentally mute myself over the next 3 hours, my fears were somewhat justified. In all seriousness, though, I couldn't help wondering, is this really Lawrenceville? To me, Lawrenceville was the circle, the crescent, the classrooms, the walkways, the greens of the grass and the reds of the buildings, the lampposts that glowed in the dark and lit your way back to the house. If there's one thing harder than saying goodbye, it's not getting the chance to say goodbye. If I had to guess, I'd say you probably miss our campus every bit as much as I do. I wish I could point to a moment in the next 3 weeks and say, and that's when I had an epiphany, but that's not how it worked. It was just morning after morning of watching many of your faces pop up on my screen. Morning after morning of thinking this wouldn't work, but watching you make it work anyways. You showed me that every organization, every company, every government, and every school is just people. A group of people and everything they're brilliant and daring enough to create. This seems obvious. I wouldn't be the first time I'd forgotten that. I wonder how many of you recall the blizzard that paid us a visit in the fall of 2018. Given that it made me 20 minutes late to my chemistry final, I'm unlikely to forget in a hurry. When I dashed out of my car, my mom told me to breathe. I thought this was unnecessary advice until I skidded to a halt in front of the exam room, which had been about as ridiculously difficult to find as only rooms in the math and science building can be, and started to hyperventilate. I could see Mrs. Calvert staring at me from inside the exam room. I hyperventilated some more, and then she came out to me. I explained what had happened, and with one of the gentlest expressions I've ever seen, she told me to calm down. It was all right, she said. She would give me time to catch my breath. She would give me the full 2 hours to take the exam. Since then, no final has managed to scare me quite as much because I know there's a person on the other side of that test. A person who has taught me, a person who knows me, a person who would rather see me succeed than fail. Lawrenceville works not just because it's a group of people who share a purpose, but because it's a group of people who want to see each other succeed. I've known people who cheer so loudly at games that they routinely lose their voices. People who whisper, "break a leg," as they slip past each other backstage. I've seen an entire Ives class converge around Jeffrey Tao's desk when he agreed to show us his sketchbook. I've watched Reed Mario hold doors open for hordes of hungry students making a beeline for Irwin. At risk of embarrassing more people, I'd better stop there. Still, I will say this to my wonderful class of 2020. Each and every one of you has my heartfelt admiration and congratulations, not just because you've made it to this point, but because you've brought the rest of us along with you. I'm willing to bet that there's at least one other person graduating today whose time at Lawrenceville would have felt empty without you in it. Now, you may be thinking, where is that list of thank yous that invariably accompanies these speeches? Don't worry, what I'm saying doesn't just apply to the class of 2020. If you're watching this, you have all the thanks I can send you through a pre-recorded video. Thank you, faculty, staff, housemasters, duty masters, advisors, coaches, directors, counselors, mentors, shoulders to cry on. If you're thinking this sounds redundant, it's only because you've played so many roles in our lives, more than I could list here. Thank you, freshmen. Thank you, sophomores. Thank you, juniors. And of course, thank you, parents and family. In a way, you're every bit the Laurentians we are. Because Lawrenceville isn't a fortress or even just a campus. It's a group of people who believe in each other and in the school more than we believe in ourselves. Now, I labor under no delusions that you will remember this speech 4 years down the road. I doubt I will remember how to recite this speech 4 years down the road. No, this speech is for right now. It's for a moment when you might be feeling like you're just one person sitting in a house staring at a screen. So if you're feeling cut off right now, just remember what Mr. Brownlow once said to Oliver Twist. You will not be friendless while I live. Members of the class of 2020, we will never, even in our most melodramatic moments, be able to honestly call ourselves friendless. Because somewhere there will be a teacher, a coach, a friend, someone you kept in touch with, someone you didn't, who, if they knew what you were going through, would want you to succeed, would tell you that you can succeed, and would know that, invariably, you will. And now a few words from Headmaster Murray.
Thank you, Ashley, for those inspiring words. The mantle signifies the responsibility that accompanies the position of president of the school and the leadership of the fifth form. The passing of the mantle from one president to the next is a tradition at Lawrenceville. Tay Gashegwa, this year's school president, has passed the mantle with all its responsibilities to next year's school president, Soleil Saint-Cyr. There will be a formal installation for Soleil when we return to school in the fall. Members of the wonderful class of 2020, it is now officially time for me to say goodbye on behalf of all the faculty and staff at Lawrenceville. We are sad to see you leave, but we are excited for all that lies before you and confident that you will bring the same energy, intelligence, integrity, and spirit to the next chapters of your lives as you've demonstrated here. In leaving, you take a bit of Lawrenceville with you in your hearts, and you also leave behind your legacy of leadership and courage in the face of adversity, which has created an indelible imprint on this school. Remember, you will always be a Laurentian. And now, Rabbi Lauren Levy will give the benediction.
Thank you, Headmaster Murray. I'm honored to be the concluding speaker and to offer a closing benediction at today's ceremony. You all arrived here, some 4 years ago, some 3, some 2, and some just a scant year back. You arrived here with summer-ready faces, a bit nervous, but filled with expectation. You arrived as summer waned and the days slowly grew shorter, but nonetheless as buds yearning to bloom in our Lawrenceville greenhouse. You arrived at today, our unique today, ready for your next adventure, your next experiences. We have tended you much like gardeners, planting seeds, nourishing them, and watering them. We've plied you with nutrients, coddled and cajoled you, fed you, and now we're ready to let you go. Grow, reach, bloom, and explore. And as you move to your next destinations, your next adventures, go slow and grow slow, slow and full. Never run from, but towards. Develop roots and wings. We here offer you our blessings of health and happiness, of care and well-being. May those you encounter on your paths show you kindness, and may you share your kindness with them. Smile often and fully, like right now. May that which is above us, below us, beyond us, and around us be within you, and may you be blessed with peace. Amen. Thank you all for participating in this special ceremony of conferring of diplomas to you, the class of 2020. We all wish you the very, very best. Go in peace.